Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are here talking. We're going to talk about the new Netflix One Piece show. And just a real quick reminder before you all, anybody that's watching, if you have not watched the Netflix show, please go watch that before you watch any of this, because I don't want to spoil or ruin anything for you. So that don't want to spoil anything for you. You should go watch the show and then check this out if you want. I have with me probably today at least the foremost expert on One Piece that I know of. Probably her favorite manga and anime ever. You've probably seen her around on Common Nerds channel and a few other channels. This is I consider her the go-to goat when it comes to One Piece information. The one, the only, tiny but fierce.
Howdy, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm all right, and I am definitely not a One Piece expert. There are people out there that have dedicated years and years to deep diving every piece of One Piece, and I go to them for stuff. But I am a big fan, and I do know a bunch of stuff because I love this series so much. But I would not call myself an expert.
But to me, to my noob knowledge, you would be an expert because you know things that I don't know, and I've been watching. I'm on what am I on? I'm currently on episode about 494, so I'm only about 1/10 of the way through the anime.
So where are they at 434? That's
494. I'm about. I said I was 1/10 of the way through it.
But I mean, what island are you at that point? I can't think about it in my head by the chapter numbers.
Oh yeah. I am. This is the flashback where it shows Ace and Luffy when they were kids. After he tried to go rescue Ace from being executed.
So yeah, so it's the flashbacks in the 2-year time skip. Got it. Oh, that has some seriously moving stuff in it. That's got some scenes. Oh my god. Okay.
Cool. Well, what I want to get your perspective on this show before we go anywhere. I want to hear what you think about this, and what your initial thoughts are, all that kind of thing.
My very initial thoughts was, oh my god, this is amazing, I'm so excited, this is the best thing ever. And then I calmed down a little bit. I mean, it's interesting, like Liam from Grand Line Review, his attitude was, I don't know if this actually busted the curse. No. I will not hear that from anyone. The Netflix live action One Piece has completely destroyed, smashed, demolished, whatever you want to say, the curse of anime being made into live action. It did it. There's a couple things that I'm either confused about or not super happy about the choices made, which I always feel it feels really prideful to say that I don't think this was done right, because I'm sorry, Oda Sensei, Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, I believe is one of the greatest storytellers of the 21st century. I honestly believe, I'll say this to everybody, that I think that though manga is a very different medium, and therefore it has the same level of sophistication, that really his storytelling is just as sophisticated as Tolkien. So the idea of trying to say, well, I think they did it wrong, it feels really arrogant. But there were a couple things that I felt I would questionable. I would say they were questionable, and I was confused about. But I mean, overall, it doesn't take away from the fact that this was an anime that truly came to life and truly felt just like the anime. I mean, and there's people all over the internet going, I never really want to get into One Piece, or I'm not an anime person, or I don't really like anime, but I saw that One Piece live action. Oh my god, that was great. I'm gonna go check this out now. And it's like it's an amazing portal to bring people into the world where they will get the real stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. It looks like everybody looks the way they're supposed to me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people if they really want to, they can argue that what's his name's nose, maybe I guess.
Oh,
Does it?
okay.
But like, I'm just like,
never. Usopp's nose was never going to be able to be.
of course not. It's just absurd. It was like
Yeah.
Pinocchio or something like that. But the dude looked like Usopp.
He still felt like Usopp. Oh yeah, he totally.
Yeah, every part of it did. Everything in there to me was like, and you know something, the thing that got me so much was like it took itself seriously, real seriously. And this is like how you can have something so absurd, like a giant, like fruit that you can eat that gives you like these absurd abilities, like turns your entire body to rubber. How you can have something, a concept, something like that, and giant sea monster just a certain, absurd from a certain point of view, but they took it seriously, and it was totally believable. Every bit of that was just. To me, the show is like it's so much better than it has any right to be to me, because they took it so seriously, and the sets and everything looked amazing. Like I put this picture up because to me, this picture right here, and it was in the second episode when he did that, when he took the hat off and put it on. I was just like, man, that killed it. That was that looked. Now
it's interesting. I know a lot of people haven't really. A lot of people have said one of the few actors they didn't feel actually fully portrayed it was young Luffy, and I sort of see that a little bit because.
Yeah.
But it's very hard for a child actor. Like, I mean, they got a real child actor. It's an actual kid, and it's very hard for a kid to go from super happy, thanks Shanks, to thanks, just like going back and forth to have like that super happy-go-lucky, I'm gonna get angry, but once it's over, I'm like all that emotions just disappeared and gone. That child Luffy has. It would be very, very hard for a child actor, to be able to portray that all that well. So I think the fact that they made him be kind of like in awe of the pirates, but also have his temper, they couldn't put in the super happy-go-lucky part as well, because I just don't. I mean, no offense to the child actor, but I just don't think most kids can pull that off in any way that looks realistic.
And I don't think that most kids can even. I don't even think it's even possible for them to act like that, because almost like child Luffy to me was almost like not much different than adult Luffy.
No,
it seemed like, I don't know. The only thing to me was like maybe he didn't look. The only thing, he acted like a kid to me. He acted like a kid, and if a kid was in this situation, kind of how a kid would act. Mm-hmm. Maybe he didn't look as much like little kid Luffy in the anime. Granted, little kid Luffy in the anime just like looks like Luffy just kind of like just smushed down a little bit, almost like a chibi
version.
Yeah, like a chibi, almost like when he goes, what is it?
Gear third, when he comes out of
third gear.
Third
gear. Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. Hey, see, you're the expert here. That's what I'm talking about. But it was cool. Everybody you just get it. I got a feel for it. Just the first episode, I'm watching it, and I'm just like, this is good. Everybody looks right. Everybody feels right. The first time I saw like the trailer, I was just like, they all look like the anime, and it's kind of cool because I had no idea that. I wasn't even sure this was coming out. I just started months back started binge watching the anime because I was just like, there's over 1,000 episodes of this, and no telling how many chapters of the manga. I'm just like, that many people cannot be wrong, so I'm going to watch this. There's something here that everybody likes, so I'm going to check it out because, like, I'm going to
feel really bad if I hadn't actually mentioned this before. You know about One Pace, right?
One Pace?
Somebody edited almost all of the anime to cut out all the filler. Now, I think some of the filler is important because you actually do get to do some stuff that like explores backstories and characters that Oda signed off on. But no, like there's some dude out there. I'm pretty sure it's called One Pace, and he cuts out a lot of like the rehashes in the beginning and the rehash at the very the ending credit stuff, so that it's like everything gets shortened down into like a full like 14 or 16 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, so you don't have to hear
previously
Luffy, a guy who ate a double fruit.
You don't have to hear. I mean, I love the opening. I love the opening, and I will listen to it every once in a while, just because when I'm rewatching, I'll just let it play because it's fun to listen to. But no, you don't need to listen to that every single episode.
I have been. Well, I dig it. Now, I'm an unashamed huge Bleach fan, and a lot of people don't like Bleach because there's a lot of filler in anime. The manga, I think, is absolutely fantastic, and the Thousand Year Blood War, which is what I don't know if you've been keeping up with any of that, but it's like that's the best
I read the
anime.
manga. I read the manga through to the end, but I actually haven't watched almost any of the anime.
Wait, the entire series? You haven't watched the anime? Or, okay. I like it. I dig it. That's it. That got me back into that. Was like I grew up, grew up like with Dragon Ball Z, so I started watching that. Just insane, and then that was like that's the doorway. That's what kicked the door down for like Western, for everybody over here.
Most Western kids, yeah.
To like get into like, then it was like, and all that wave of everything from the 90s, which was like the Gundam Wing, then the 26 episode like Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun. There's probably one or two.
I loved Outlaw Star.
Oh, well, Outlaw Star is probably like one of my favorites ever. From the music and everything is fantastic. But then like a few years, it's been several years now. I just wanted to start watching some new anime and Google, action anime, and Bleach came up and I started watching it. I loved it. And then I've read the manga back and forth, and there's actually like a digital colored version of it online, and it's some of the most beautiful stuff ever. And like I'm loving the fact that they're doing the Thousand Year Blood War now in the anime, and every episode looks like a movie. So, but anyway, I'm not here talking about Bleach because I'm just going off on silly stuff because But this One Piece show is good. I like it, and then there's real sets and all this stuff, which is really cool. It's blowing up.
It took 6 years to do this. They were working on this for 6 years from start to finish, and it was very important that they had a lot of physical effects, a lot of real sets, a lot of stuff that made you feel like you were actually in world. And oh my god. I think the thing, like, it's really stupid, but I think the thing that made me the most, like, squeal, fangirl crazy was when I saw the Den Mushi. I love the transponder snails and the fact that they made them so accurate. It was, I was like, thank you, Jim Henson. Thank you for bringing Den Mushis to life.
What are they called now?
Den Mushi.
Den Mushi. Okay. I'll never remember that, but that's cool. I love how each transponder snail has the mustache and looks like the dude that owns it.
They don't always have a mustache. They have a mustache if the person calling.
If the person owns it, I mean, like the dude who's what's his name, Garm. His snail has his goatee mustache stuff going on. It's hilarious.
I was like, if and when we get to Doflamingo, his will have the iconic glasses and like the feather boa.
Yeah. That trips out.
But I mean that the show would have to continue for like 5 or 6 seasons before we'd have to worry about Doflamingo much.
If this is good, I talked to Jesse the other day, and I'm like with him. I kind of feel like if they would have done this a weekly episode, or at least an episode a week, it would have kind of like spread it out, and everyone would be talking about this for the next 2 months straight.
It was the number one watched piece of media on Netflix in 84 countries. It hit number 1 in 84 countries.
Oh, I believe it. I just kind of wanted to.
It blew Wednesday out of the water. It blew Stranger Things season 4 out of the water. It has blown everything out of the water. If they do not automatically redo for season 2, Netflix has just lost their goddamn minds. There's just it has an 80-something rating from critics and it has a 90-something rating from fans.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, this is the potential to be bigger than the potential that Witcher originally had in season 1.
Right.
And people were actually like, well, it wasn't perfect, but it was really good, and can't wait to come back. And they're like, all right, this was so good, we're gonna send out 5 seasons, and then they just started destroying it. I mean, if they can keep to their contract with Oda, and Oda keeps creative control of this thing, and this could go for 10 seasons. This could go for 20 seasons.
Yeah. Well, everybody's
So
gonna
if they've
watch
got
it.
the actors, I hope they have the actors like have their souls in like a safe somewhere, because I don't want any of these actors to ever go away.
Damn, you get freaking hardcore over here. Get their souls and lock it in a box so we keep them on for the rest of the next couple seasons. Man, it is. To me, as soon as I started watching, I was like, this is so good. And it's what's really good about it is because to me, it follows a whole lot of stuff straight to me from the anime. Now you've read the manga, right? You yeah, I figured you had.
I've read the manga and watched all the anime.
Yeah, so you're gonna know more than I would. But like,
one of the things that was interesting was partially because Shonen Jump is technically for preteen and teen in Japan, but what preteen and teens in Japan are allowed to see via violence is different than what preteen and teens here are allowed to see. With violence. So it's like the Marineford, the Battle of Marineford. In the anime, Whitebeard does get a hole through his chest. He gets stuff blown off, but in the manga, half his head is missing for part of that freaking scene. Like, he gets literally part of his face blown off. There was always more violence and a little more darker edge to the manga than there is to the anime, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So seeing the live action be darker, having Zoro straight up, Mr. Seven's done.
Cut him in, he cut him in half.
Alvida's totally crushed that dude's skull. He's dead. Yeah. Like, it's so funny because everyone's always bitching that nobody dies in One Piece.
Yeah, they are always very nobody dies in One Piece.
Very few people who are named and who are important do die off unless it's except in like flashbacks. But at the same time, no, especially in the beginning, Oda was more than willing to kill off unnamed people all over the place.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Bleach, like in the manga. And at one point when I believe it's like the point where Aizen is fighting like the Gotai 13, and he's got the Arankar with him, and the three Arankar, what they call Trace something or another, the three girls that give their like left arm or something, and it creates this big monster with this eyeball thing.
That sounds very familiar.
He goes and rips in the manga. He rips like a chunk of Rangiku's side out. You can see like he pinches out like a section of her side in the manga. In the anime, it doesn't show that. It just shows her like hurt or whatnot. But in the manga, it's like there is a finger section of her whole side missing, where he just pinched out a section on her like that. And it's like the same kind of thing like that with it when they get all with the manga being a lot more violent, especially with 1,000-Year Blood War. Good grief, that got violent. But yeah, I did notice that. Like, I was like, yeah, I don't remember Zoro cutting a guy in half, and I was just like, well, there's his legs flopping over on the side.
Well, also that scene with Mr. Seven is interesting because in the original manga, when Roronoa Zoro is facing Mr. One and Ms. Merry Christmas is her name? Whatever, the number one female that's opposite Mr. One.
I know.
She's going, I think I remember there was a sword bounty hunter in the East Blue who we offered a position to, who turned us down and killed the Mr. Seven of the time. And Zoro goes, well, he didn't like my requirements or something like that. Like, so even in the original manga, there's this thing that happens where they talk about that Baroque Works had tried to get Zoro to join earlier. Now, they made it kind of seem like it was like a years earlier, but everything's been squished together so much for this. There's also, I believe there's also a cover story that deals with briefly with the Mr. Seven fight. So they were able to put it in here because it is in the original manga, and it also gives us much more background for Baroque Works and for where we're going to go with Alabasta.
That wasn't in the anime, though, right? That part wasn't.
The conversation when he's fighting Mr. One and Miss whatever.
Yeah, I'm talking about that fight that they put in the show.
No, but the actual fight, no, that's not.
Okay,
Never been put in the anime.
There's a few things that I was going to ask you about when whenever we get to it, if I can remember whether or not they're in the anime or not.
It's really cool. There's a bunch of stuff that over the years has come out in SBS chapters or in. Do you know what the SBSs are?
No.
So when Oda does a volume, so like 10 chapters, all done, put it together, make a volume, get the volume book.
Oh, yeah. Like he puts it in a binded like a book, like where you can get off. Yeah.
Well, each one has a SBS, which is like a question section where someone will say, Oda Sensei, how wide is Zoro's chest? And he'll draw Zoro and he'll put the inches of his chest or whatever.
It's insane. They're so detailed. I love it.
Or Oda Sensei, what would Zoro's sword look like if Zoro's sword was alive? And he'll draw a person that represents the sword. Or they'll ask a lot of random questions, like we know certain people's favorite food or certain people, like just. But there have been so many volumes. There have been so many questions. There's so much information. And then there's all the data books you can buy, which covers so much information, including correlating a lot of the stuff that was in SBSs and things like that. But because there's 25 years of SBSs and data books and questions and cover stories, like all sorts of really important stuff actually happened in a lot of the cover stories. And those almost never get animated. Every once in a while we get one animated, but very rarely. So there's all of this extra information that they can put Easter eggs or foreshadowing or stuff into the live action that either wasn't there or wouldn't necessarily make sense that was in the original anime.
Yeah, see that's actually really, really cool that you could do that. Plus, see the fact that he's doing that now. He is, I guess he has ultimate like creative control. Like when they put something through there, it has to go through him, right? He has to sign off on this stuff.
Yep.
See, kids, that's why this show is good. That's exactly why this show is good. And I hope to goodness that this set some kind of precedent so that like people will actually look at this and be like, hey, you know what? This is actually how you do it. We don't put our stupid nonsense on there and let the creator have control on this.
Well, that's the thing. Like, one of the things that kind of really pissed me off is I saw recently that because this did so well, Netflix was shouting, see, it did great. We can do it. And you're going to really love our Avatar The Last Airbender TV show too now. And it's like, no. See, the Avatar The Last Airbender TV show, the creators walked away. They couldn't handle the crap you were doing to their baby, so they left. The creators of Avatar The Last Airbender have nothing to do with the TV show Avatar The Last Airbender. So it will probably be awful.
yeah, it'll stink.
But this had Oda had his fingerprints on every single piece of it, and that's why it's amazing.
Can't you just see him with Zoro's katana, and when they send him some bullshit, he's just like, he's like chops it down, get that shit out of here. And then I got man. The dude they got for Zoro is perfect. He looks.
Oh my god,
the dude is perfect.
He's so Zoro. Oh god, he's so good. And it's really funny also because he doesn't do a lot of the like behind the scenes videos and the we're gonna all ask questions videos.
Yeah.
A lot of times he's not there, and I don't know that this is the actual exactly what's happening, but I had made a comment a few months ago why is he rarely there, and someone said he has a contract with a agency in Japan because he's also been doing other movies and stuff when they don't need him for One Piece. And the agency in Japan has really strict rules about how their actors can behave when they're not. And so he's always has to be very, very stoic, and he's not really supposed to get really silly or over the top or anything. So when I feel bad because all the other actors are goofing off and like being like, see, look, we're all really nakamas, we're all really family, we love each other, ha ha ha. He's like never there.
Well, you know what though? That's a good thing though. Western people, then this guy's like, see, on the plus side, you'll never hear this guy ever say some kind of nonsense about something or another. You'll never hear that. Oh
well, yeah, there's definitely that. But
these guys don't seem they they seem all right too. They seem the kids that are playing, they're in the show look pretty good.
Well, but they also cut out some of the scenes where Zoro would have been laughing or smirking. Like in the manga or the anime, certain scenes where Zoro would have had more to emote were cut. So he's badass, but he's almost too stoic. I was like, he had a lot more. He had a little bit more fun in the beginning. In early One Piece, he was a little bit more fun and a little bit more relaxed. And that is the only nitpick I could possibly have for Zoro. Like that's like it's nothing. I mean, it's a nothing, but if I had to nitpick, that would be it. That you could. And the couple times where he did smile or smirk, it felt exactly like Zoro, and I was like
it was supposed to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I love it when Sanji goes Moss Head when he called him Moss Head. I was like, that was fantastic.
But they didn't do Sanji's eyebrows, so all of the
this curly.
So all of the comments, all of the back and forth, Moss Head, curly brows, blah blah blah. We don't get that, and then I'm kind of crying. That's part of the Sanji Zoro rivalry is them being able to make fun of each other's.
His hair, you calls him Moss Head, and you carry eyebrows, going back and forth.
Yeah, they're always going back and forth.
I do love
Zoro
the kid.
Never, in the manga and the anime, Zoro has never once said Sanji's actual name. Calls him Cook, calls him idiot, calls him curly brows, calls him all sorts of crap. But
he never calls him his name.
He never calls him Sanji.
Tell you what, the kid they got to play Luffy is perfect though. I love that guy. And I can since
he's adorable.
Since you pointed out the fact that like Oda said that like he always saw Luffy as like a Brazilian kid, I see that. I can totally see that, and in the way that he's drawn and everything like that, it makes sense. But he's great. I was just, I was trying to, rewatch a couple of them, and like when he's hanging on the sail of the boat that Nami stole, and he's sitting there all impatient, like trying to wait for her to open the safe. Or what was really funny was when they were trying to open the safe in Morgan's office, and she's sitting there listening to it. Do you think that alarms for us? No, that's probably for another thief and idiot pirate. And he's like listening to it. He's like, what a coincidence would that be, or something like that, where he's like listening to say. And then he's like trying to listen to her head. Little stuff like that is just funny. And
it's very Luffy.
Yeah.
Very, very Luffy.
Like when he pops up through that grate when Zoro's tied up and everything, and then when he's leaving, he's just like, hey, can you close this behind me real quick? I gotta go climb down in the sewer again. We'll see you.
Well, though, also, that was really fun, but I felt like this scene where he stands in front of Zoro and says, well, they were never planning to let you live. They were going to execute you anyway, so you can either join my crew or stay here and die. And Zoro looks at me and goes, what are you, the son of the devil, with like that smirk? He's like, guess I'm joining your crew. Like, that scene is one of my favorite scenes in East Blue, and it wasn't there.
Yeah, I did notice that they changed that up a little bit, because I thought that it was. I did remember that being slightly different in the end.
I mean, we get to see. I mean, I understand why they did it in a way so that they did the bar fight so that the audience sees that Luffy has a very good reason for wanting Zoro on his team. It's not just his reputation. Mm-hmm. But
I was going to say that bar fight in the anime never happened, right? No, Luffy didn't see that. He had heard of Zoro.
It's the black. It's the backstory for why Zoro was tied up. That he was there. He was just in the bar, in the bar / diner or whatever. And Helmeppo came in with his pet wolf, and he was letting the wolf terrorize everybody, including the little girl. And Zoro beat the wolf up. And then Helmeppo got angry and tried to draw a sword, and Zoro said, I wouldn't. And Helmeppo drew the sword. And then that same fight where where Zoro beats the crap out of Helmeppo without even having to draw his sword completely out of his scabbard.
He hits him with like the hilt, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, so that fight does happen, but it's done differently, and it happened.
Luffy didn't see it though, did he?
3 weeks earlier. It happened 3 weeks earlier. Zoro's
Right.
already been tied up for 3
Been
weeks.
tied up for a while. That's what I was thinking. And Luffy wasn't there to see that fight. Luffy had just heard about Zoro and wanted him on his ship, right?
Yeah, when the little girl tries to give him rice balls, Helmeppo comes up, smashes the rice balls in front of him while he's tied up, and then tells the guard to throw the girl over the wall, which would at least break bones, if not kill her. And he's like, "Are you serious?" And Helmeppo goes, "Of course I'm serious. Do you want me to tell my father that you aren't following orders?" And it's like, "I'm sorry, little girl. Try to curl up in a ball." like this Marine's about to throw an 8-year-old girl over a high wall.
Game of Thrones style out a window, man.
And Luffy stretches out and grabs her and protects her from the fall. And so she says, "Come back to the diner," and she explains everything that happened, and then you see the flashback and you see the wolf and the fight and all that. But it was also supposed to happen weeks earlier.
Yeah. I thought it was a little. See, this is exactly what I wanted to talk to you about, because I knew you would remember all of this. See, because you're an expert. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are. To me, you're an expert. So, there you go. But yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to after that. I was trying to think of a few things that I know. Some stuff with Garm is different.
Oh, a lot of stuff with Garp is different.
I was going to say a lot of stuff because.
And honestly, some of the stuff with Garp that's different is part of the stuff that the few things that I'm very confused and or not happy about / questioning about. I mean, the fact that Garp was Luffy's grandfather was like such this giant nani reveal, like
later on, right? That was a ways down the road.
It was after in his lobby. It was like, whoa, whatever. And it was after we already knew about Ace, and we already knew certain like it's the fact that Nami was sitting there angry. He should have told us his grandfather was an admiral. He should have told us the guy chasing us was his grandfather. He should have told us. He should have told, like, all that stuff that she says. It makes sense because she doesn't know him. She doesn't have a reason to trust him yet.
Right.
But because in the manga and the anime, they know Luffy so well, they completely trust him. They're just shocked, but they're not mad at Luffy. So like this whole makes them. It interrupts the crew gelling as a crew, and I didn't like that.
What was that exactly? Can you? I'm sorry. I had like. I'm kind of retarded. I everything oozed out of my brain just now. You were just talking about Garp and the. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
Garp being Luffy's grandfather is a shock. It was always going to be a shock. It always was going to be a shock. It always is a shock. Right. But when the shock comes after the crew knows each other, trusts each other with their lives.
That's right. That's right. Because they were just like, what are you doing, man? You didn't tell us about
after Ennis Lobby. After Ennis Lobby. It's after they have proven they are a true family, found family. They're a true crew, ride or die till the end. Then they find out about Garp, and it's like, it's just shocking, but they're not angry with Luffy in any way, shape, or form. Nami at least was angry. Zoro was not very happy. Sanji was not very, but at the same time, there's good reasons for them not to be happy because they don't know him all that well yet. Right. So it messed with them coming together as a crew. It messed with the trust that they were supposedly building. I didn't like that. It left me feeling, why do these people trust each other? We don't see the scene with Shushu in Orange Village, so we don't know why Nami finally realizes that some pirates can be really good guys. We don't have Luffy telling Zoro that he's gonna die if he doesn't come with him, and then still protects him with his life, and then still also protects him with his life and convinces Zoro to, like, all of the things that make them come together as a family, that make them really, really, really connected. Most of those scenes were actually squished or erased.
Yeah, they kind of like. I thought the thing they kind of
it's still really, really, really good. But I mean, I don't really know why these people trust each other so much.
like Zoro when in the I remember him. It built up to the fact that he was like, "No, Luffy is my captain." You know, it kind of built up to that a little bit. Although it kind of hinted at that, you know, in this Netflix show some, but you didn't. It's almost like it wasn't like earned, like it was. They didn't have those extra steps, as it were, like in the anime, where you can actually see that this is why he's just like, "No, I've got Luffy's back always. He's the captain," you know.
Yeah. I mean, they did show a little tiny bit when Luffy says, when Nami's mad at Luffy for letting Zoro fight Mihawk, and he says, "I would do anything except stand in the way of his dream," and and Zoro appreciating that, and Zoro saying, "You accepted my dream, you protected my dream and my ability, even if it got me killed. I'm going to be loyal to you." That does work, but the loyal. They found ways to make things work, but I don't think they work as well as they did in the anime. And all of it comes down to time. The fact that
exactly. They don't have 30 episodes. They didn't have 30 episodes to build all of that up. That was the thing that I was looking at. But like,
honestly, I think if they just had 10, I think just 2 more episodes would have allowed for enough time, a little bit of time here and a little bit of time there to just make it seamless.
Yeah,
just,
I believe
just 2 more. I mean, I'd love 100 episodes, but I mean, just 2 more
like
episodes.
10 episodes a season is
it
like
would have worked.
In my opinion, I think it should have. I think a season needs about 26 episodes a season. To me, 23 to 26. That's my idea. Whether it's an hour-long show or whatnot, but yeah, I can at least see 10. You know,
but also, when Ace shows up in Alabasta now, they're gonna be like, "Why didn't you tell us you had a brother who's a major, who's one of the freaking leaders of the Whitebeard pirates when we found out about your grandfather?" Like, it's. And the idea that Garp was just chasing Luffy to test him, to test his resolve, seems kind of crazy because in the anime,
none of that. Yeah, that was
in the anime and the manga, he trained Luffy by picking him up and throwing him into forests and jungles in the middle of the night and being like, "Come back alive."
Yeah, I know, right? I do remember that part. I was like, he picked him up and threw him out in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry.
That's kind of what we did. That's kind of what happened to us as kids in Alabama. They just threw us out in the woods. I don't worry about the snakes.
There's no way to say that he didn't already know Luffy's resolve. I'm sorry. There's just, maybe you want to say he wanted to test. If he had said, "I wanted to test that you got a good crew behind you, I was actually testing them, not you," that might have made sense to some degree. Like, I'm testing your ability to choose a crew for yourself, that people who are not going to stab you in the back or become like Blackbeard or whatever. But that's not what they said. I was like, "I'm testing Luffy's resolve." No. If there's one thing no one in the world ever needs to test, it's Luffy's resolve. Luffy always has resolve. If Luffy says something, that's it. Done. End of all discussions.
Now, there's a few things there that they did that were absolutely spot on correct.
There were dozens, hundreds of things they did that were absolutely spot on. But there's one other thing they did that really... The only other thing that they did that I'm really questioning is no Hachin. Do you know who I'm talking about? Oh, you're gone. Hello, Diesel's fans. Great. Now I'm the only one here. Maybe I can find the chat. So Hale says 12 episodes minimum. I can see that. I could agree with that. Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I had a question. What?
I just like, I'll go see what the chat's saying.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I take this. See, everybody turns into Garth when you just give them the thing by themselves almost, you know. That's what happens to me. Jesse's like, "I'll be back," and then I'm just like, hey, everybody turns into Garth. Yeah, we can like take a minute right now and say hey to the chat. We got Connie Cleary. What's up, Connie? Hail the lore. That's my brother. What's up, dude?
And Hale was just saying that he thinks everything should have a minimum of 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack.
What's up, Jack? And Christian Delorme. Hey, Christian, you like how I can pronounce your last name correctly? It's not Delorme. Whatever Jesse says. I'm sorry, I gotta shut up. Oh, thank you, sir, for subscribing to a channel. Appreciate that. And thank you guys for hanging out here on a Sunday. While I just I had to refill my coffee, man. I have to pour a bunch of caffeine on the brain to keep it rolling. But I had a question. Was there anything else in the manga about like Luffy? Did it ever show him on a ship when it sunk, or did he just pop up in that barrel like he did? Like
no, he starts off in the barrel, but we know that he did have a ship. So like he says, "Well, I had a ship and food," but the ship sunk.
Okay,
So
they show it. I was wondering about that because like sometimes they'll cut a few things out here.
I was actually shocked at how well stocked he was. He had plenty of dried fish. He had citrus to make sure he doesn't get scurvy. He actually
scurvy. That's what I was thinking about, the scurvy when I saw the oranges. He had all that stuff. That's probably why the ship sank. It was overweighted, man, with all the
very
food.
Possibly, but damn it, now it's not Medica. I'm blanking on the woman's name who runs the bar in Fuchsia Village. She probably packed that boat for him. There's no way Luffy thought ahead and actually knew what to put. Makino. I bet you Makino packed that boat, not Luffy.
Luffy probably helped build that boat,
and that's why it sunk.
And that's exactly why it sunk.
But yeah, no.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, is it? It's not. Is it Kobe?
Kobe.
Yeah. That dude, he looks he's spot on. They got the glasses, everything.
Oh,
that guy looks perfect.
He looks just like Kobe.
Yeah.
And also nothing like Kobe in the manga, in the Kobe Helmeppo cover story arcs. They don't just share a shot of whiskey and automatically suddenly start trusting each other. Like there's all this, there's little things that happen where Kobe actually risks his life to save Helmeppo and stuff that makes Helmeppo start becoming a better person and then try to give Kobe good advice, and kind of they both become better men, stronger men together. Kobe listening at doorways and overhearing shit and then like drinking a shot with Helmeppo, and then that's like I didn't really like that actually. All that
didn't it show him in the anime, save him a time or two,
No.
Okay.
In the anime, they absolutely. That's one of the cover stories they did actually animate. They totally animated Kobe and Helmeppo's cover stories, where Garp takes them under his wing and he starts training them and stuff. Because, and it's funny in the manga and the anime, the whole reason it happens is because Bogart. Garp's like right-hand guy, his yeoman who's always there and always taking care of shit, but has the rank of like a captain. He overhears Helmeppo say, if you can't let anyone know that you're friends with Luffy. Like a Marine can't be friends with a pirate. And Bogart overhears it and he goes and he tells Garp, he's like, yo, that kid's actually friends with your grandson. Maybe you want to make sure he doesn't die. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, this is a very, very good show. I do recommend it. If you're a noob and haven't even gotten into One Piece, this is a good way to do it because it hits all the major the plot points of the anime. To me, it feels like, especially coming in as a noob, kind of like I am. I've been marathoning the show like for a while, or like binging it for a while. But this right here, I think, is a good way to get somebody to watch it, to like kind of get an overall feel for the show, because I think it hits on a lot of the major plot points on it that like I mean, it changes stuff and condenses it. It has to, like we were talking about. It
No,
has to
yeah,
because it's only
absolutely.
8 episodes. But
I'm picking apart little things that because I've watched it so many times and I read the manga and I love it. Little things that just stood out to me or got to me. But anything I've been saying, these are little nitpicks.
right.
Honestly think this is an amazing live action adaptation. It's an amazing show. I'm probably gonna watch it a couple more times.
Yeah, I've already rewatched.
I'm trying to possibly edit some reaction video stuff together and maybe do for my own channel at some point. But I mean, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, thank you for coming in and talking about it with me too. Because
My pleasure.
Yeah. And
Sorry about that phone call. My mom's actually in Texas, and there's weird shit going on with the family, so I just needed to be able to pick it up.
Oh yeah.
But no, I could not possibly have imagined it being this good before seeing it. Like, it was just, and it proves you can do crazy, crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
With CGI if you do it well and you're clear with what you're doing. I mean, it's just
You could do Outlaw Star if you took it seriously enough and did it something like this. You could do Outlaw Star.
Mm-hmm.
You could absolutely do Outlaw Star. That would be one.
Gear 3
that would be so cool to see.
Gear 3 and Gear 4 are going to be pretty interesting. Like, the CGI is going to have to do some real stuff. But we've got multiple seasons to get there. Technology is changing every day. I mean,
some of the stretchy stuff looks a little odd, but I mean, it looks odd in the anime because it's just
it's odd.
Thing.
It's not.
It's odd. It's never going to look normal or correct because that's not how physics works. Yeah. That's not how the human body works. Well, actually, it's kind of like how physics works if something's stretched out like that. If it was made out of rubber. But
I figure season 2 is going to end at the end of Drum Island, like right when they're ready to finally get to Alabasta, and then season 3 would all be Alabasta.
I've got to rewatch. I got to start back and rewatch it because I've forgotten so much of the stuff from back in the East Blue and everything. I remember a lot of stuff, not like a lot of the stuff from the whatchamacallit, the fish people thing with Nami and everything. What's it called? Their little
Arlen Park.
Yes, Arlen Park. I hated that piece of crap from the beginning, and everything that they build up on that dude makes you just despise this piece of shit. And
you're supposed to.
Yeah, of course you are. I mean, yeah.
Arlong is an evil man given a semi-legitimate reason to spread his evilness. I mean, especially if you. So where you are? Have you had Jinbei tell his whole story yet?
Which one is he?
No, because you're still in the middle of this. Never mind. Okay. Later on, you will find out that Arlong sort of had some. I mean, besides the fact that, yes, humans treated fishermen badly in the past and they were slaves, but all humans were slaves because the celestial dragons are evil sons of bitches. But Arlong has very personal, petty, not even necessarily so petty, personal issues with humans from something that happened earlier in his life. And he has every reason to hate humans. But he takes it to such a far degree because he's always been an angry, evil little shit, even when he was a kid.
And there's nothing that happened to him that justifies the things that he's done. Like killing. Look, why did somebody kill his mother in front of him, and his brother or his sister just for no reason other than to be a sick, twisted piece of shit?
Kinda.
Oh well, it still doesn't make it okay to do it to somebody else.
I'm not trying to give Arlong.
Are you on his side?
I hate Arlong. I've always hated Arlong. Arlong is the epitome of. Arlong is the definition of anti-racism. Arlong is taking something that was bad to a group and then letting that group do something bad back without having actual parity or equality or looking for an actual good ending. Arlong just wants to punish. That's all he feels happy about is
He's a
punishing him.
sadist.
To him, in his own mind, he's a freedom fighter. In his own mind, he is the hero.
Yeah.
But the fact that Hachin isn't there really upsets me because he's an important member of he's a not that important member of the Arlong Pirates, but he's an important fishman.
Later on, see now, when I first started watching it, before you said that, I did think to myself, "Where's Octopus Dude?" Because I forgot, sometimes, like everybody's dude. I forget their names or something. It's just like, hey, that's dude. But I was when I was first watching, I was like, I wonder where Octopus Dude is. But I guess he's not here, and I had forgotten all about the stuff that comes later because I was just kind of watching this. I was just paying attention to what was going on now and forgot all about what happened with him later. And I forgot all about Six Sword style and him going up against Zoro. Yeah,
him going up against Zoro's injured, and he proves that his 3-sword style is better than 6-sword style. A, that's a big deal. B, Hachin's Sun Pirates tattoo on his forehead is the tattoo that makes Luffy say to Boa Hancock, "I think I saw someone with something similar to that."
Yeah,
which allows us to understand more about the slaves' brands. And if Hachin wasn't there, and Hachin wasn't part of the Arlong Pirates and part of making Nami's life hell, then it doesn't mean nearly as much when Cammy asked them to save him from the slavers, and they agree.
Yeah, because that doesn't
because they're going to save someone who is their legitimate sworn enemy, who they've already fought once, and now they're going to go rescue him, and that's a huge deal. So the idea that Hachin isn't there at Arlong Park, meaning if they even have that scene at all, that it doesn't mean nearly as much. And also the fact that not just that scene, that they rescue him, then they realize that he's been taking care of Cammy. We realize that he's not as bad a guy as we thought he was. We realize that he has good tendencies. He apologizes to Nami.
Yeah, and Nami actually forgives him and is cool with him.
And then he tries to stop Luffy from reacting when he gets shot by a celestial dragon for no goddamn reason, except the celestial dragons are evil shits. And Luffy, that should be his enemy. He shouldn't care. But it's not anymore. He's proven himself. And once you prove yourself to Luffy, that's all that matters. If you've proven you have a good heart, that's all that matters. So Hachin gets shot, and Luffy does the greatest punch in all of anime and knocks St. Charlos freaking through the roof. But all of that doesn't have the same meaning, same anything, if he wasn't their enemy first.
Right. I don't know. Maybe they won't even bring the dude in. Who knows?
Maybe they're going to do something totally different with how we get with Cammy and how we see other stuff. Maybe Hachin won't be in it at all in any way, shape, or form. They'll use other characters, but it's kind of it's.
Maybe it was kind of hard to do that to have an octopus guy there too. Granted your budget and stuff like that, because most everybody else is like bipedal people. Humans with fish parts on them and stuff like that, or human, bipedal people with fish stuff on them. Mm-hmm. Which would have kind of been tough for it would have had to have been completely probably CGI. Maybe have some dude in one of those weird suits walking around just to give you an idea where it was.
I'm not saying there weren't reasonable reasons why he wasn't.
Oh yeah, there. I know. I was just trying to think of some.
Money and everything else,
I was thinking of something.
I don't know. It just feels a little bit off, a little bit weird. Also, I know a lot of people, he's like their favorite character. There were a couple people in one of the One Piece Facebook groups who were just like, but where's my dude? Where's Hachin? Where's my dude?
That's hilarious. There's people that are like, my favorite character is Hachin, the freaking octopus guy.
Yeah, because also Hachin, because especially later on, after he's redeemed himself in so many ways, Hachin's a goofball. He's naive and dumb in a lot of ways, like Luffy and Usopp sometimes are. And so he actually becomes he became a fan favorite in a lot of ways to some people because he's a goofball and he's actually a good guy at heart. And Even when he was with the Arlong Pirates, the scene where
he wasn't that bad because, like, Zoro was like talking to him, and he didn't just come up to him wanting to fight him. He just brought him to. He just talked him into carrying him around to places, didn't he? Wasn't that the thing?
It was Usopp. It was Usopp. It was Usopp who did that. Usopp was like, "Oh, I need to get to Kokiyashi Village." He goes, "Oh, are you here to visit? Okay, I'll take you over there." Like,
didn't you trick me? You tricked me.
Yeah, exactly. You tricked me. It was like, wasn't that hard?
Doesn't he make some mean takoyaki balls and stuff too?
Yep. That's what he does. That's what he ends up doing. He has his little takoyaki stand thingy.
Yeah. I did think that they hit on some of the really good parts. Like Usopp, they did a good thing with Usopp and oh god, what's the woman's name? See, I'm terrible with names. Yes, Kaya. I'm terrible with names, but like how you see and how they show that evil. Some of the people in One Piece are just some evil pieces of shit. Good grief, they're evil pieces of shit. How he's slowly poisoning.
You mean like
her.
Real life?
Yes, in real life. Yes, I know, but still, I know it's.
Well, that's the thing. If you look, don't even have to look all that closely, but if you look closely, there's every type of person, every type of situation, every type of philosophy scenario exists somewhere in One Piece.
This is true. Not that I've seen all that much, nearly as much as you have, but I've seen a lot.
Accent Morgan screaming about how I took down Kuro, I took down the Black Cat Pirates, I took down Kuro, and then we find out that Kuro wasn't taken down, and at least some of the Black Cat Pirates are still with him.
Right.
And they never explain that because Django isn't there. Because Django was the one who hypnotized Morgan and made him believe that he had killed Kuro. But Django's not there.
I knew there was something going. And there's a lot of stuff too. There was also
Django wasn't there, so Usopp didn't get to have his. I've been beaten to a pulp, but I'm going to stand my ground and protect those I care about.
Yep.
Why did they want Usopp to join the crew? Like, what did he do during that episode that made him crew worthy? Except the fact that he's, once again, a nice guy who seems like a good person.
Right.
But I mean, in the anime, he's cowardly, but he gets the living crap kicked out of him, and then he still stands his ground, which is every reason
because he's not gonna let him. He's not gonna
let anything happen to Kaya.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, he didn't really get to prove that he's not an actual coward. He didn't get to prove that he would endure anything to protect those he cares about. None of the things that really make it so it's very obvious why in the anime they want Usopp to be a member of the crew. Now it's just like, oh, well, he's Yasop's son and he's an okay sniper. I guess he can join. Not this dude put his life on the line, was in agony, and still would not back down. He's a good dude. He should be a member of the crew.
That's right. See, I had forgotten. It's been, like I said, I watched through it once, and a lot of stuff I skimmed over. See, this is again, glad the experts here, so I can bounce this stuff off. And also, I seem to remember there being a big fight with who was dude with the knife fingers? What's that guy's name?
Kuro.
Wasn't there a big fight with getting to the where the Marines were? Didn't he kill a whole bunch of Marines going to the shore there?
The Marines weren't there in Syrup Village. Kuro lands his whole crew and their ship land on the beach, and they're gonna kill Kaya and take over and possibly destroy the town.
Right.
So everyone's trying to stop them from getting inland from the beach. Zoro and Nami and Luffy and Usopp. And Usopp's the little kids that are his pirate cohort.
Yeah, the crew. Yeah, his Usopp pirates.
Mm-hmm. And actually, none of the stuff that happens in the anime or manga happens inside Kaya's mansion. We see almost nothing of inside Kaya's mansion. So this whole thing happening inside Kaya's mansion was kind of funny.
Yeah, with all the security
But I mean,
stuff.
it's so much cheaper than to try to create an entire beach scene and have a beach battle that would have cost probably 4 times as much as doing it in rooms that you can have mostly dark, so that it's easier on the CGI guys. It's easier when they do Kuro moving super fast and all that stuff.
Right. Didn't he kill a bunch of people on the way to go into his ship or something like that? Am I remembering something wrong?
I don't remember Kuro killing a bunch of people in that chapter. No, I mean, maybe one of the flashbacks where they're talking about what an evil son of a bitch he was because he liked to kill people.
I think it's a lot of stuff's blurred together. I mean, it was only 494 episodes. Surely I could have kept all of that straight in a couple of months. It's a lot of stuff to keep up with. But yeah, it was you get a basic feel of it. Why Usopp started lying. At least you get that's one of the major pulls from that whole arc. You get why he started running around saying the pirates are coming, because his mother was dying and his father was a pirate and left.
Mm-hmm.
And he did this to get attention or whatever because he didn't have anything else.
Yep. Like I said, all of humanity, all of philosophy, it's all in one piece, one place or another.
Yeah.
I thought Mihawk was really good, but it was kind of weird that it was very obvious that Mihawk figured out that Luffy was Garp's grandson. That was a little weird. That was a little weird.
And he didn't show up at the he didn't show up at Baratier for it to go after Luffy. He showed up there because those guys went to the Grand Line, right?
No,
he just followed them back to finish them off.
Yeah, in the anime and the manga, it's exactly as what happened in the live action, except more than just Jean got away. One entire boat of his 50 ship armada, one boat got away. And most of them were starving. Jean had gotten into a life raft or rowboat or whatever to try to find food to save himself, and then either bring food back to the crew or get the crew to wherever the food was. Which is why Don Krieg shows up and he's like, well, I'm Don Krieg. I'm the biggest bad in the East Blue. And I'm like, also the very first time I saw that, or I mean the second time I watched the beginning of One Piece, because I've watched it 6 times probably. And Don Krieg's going, I'm the biggest bad in the East Blue. I'm like, does Arlong know that? Because I think Arlong is pretty sure he's the biggest bad in the East Blue. Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying that they're the biggest bad. What's her name? Was it
Yeah, Alvida's no one else. You couldn't be searching for anyone but me because I'm Alvida's dude, nobody cares. You're really not that big a deal. And the East Blue is considered the weakest seas of all the seas.
Yeah, I know, right? That's where all the weaklings are.
Golden Lion Shiki was so angry that Roger was going to be killed in Logtown because it was in the East Blue, and his attitude was, "You, the greatest rival to Golden Lion Shiki, be killed in the weakest of the Blue Seas? Absolutely not!" And he was trying to. It was hilarious. He wanted to help Roger escape so that he could be the one who kills Roger. Shiki's nuts.
I don't guess I've gotten that far yet.
Oh, it's a little flashback. It's a flashback to Garp. I think either Garp or Sengoku's having a flashback to when they battled Golden Lion Shiki and destroyed half of Marineford. But the whole reason the battle happened, it turns out, is because Shiki was trying to free Roger, mostly because he wanted to be the one to kill Roger, not the Marine.
Right here, and have him in that weak area too.
No, it's this idea of rivalry. In Golden Lion Shiki's mind, the only people who came close to rivaling him were Roxy Zebek, Goldie Roger, and Whitebeard. And the idea that anyone who is his equal, his rival, to be taken down by the goddamn Marines is just unheard of. No way. Only the baddest of the badasses can take out other badasses, in his opinion.
Yeah.
You're right.
Can I ask you one thing, please? Just please try not to say GD. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, sorry. I'm just, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to be weird. Sorry. That's
All right.
yeah. It just yeah. Sorry. Anyway, all right. Move on. Stop making things weird. All right. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I thought. Oh God. I did think that the cut that he put on Zoro. Oh God. What's his name?
Mihawk.
Sorry, guy. Mihawk. I thought that cut that they had, I was like, man, it showed him cutting a person in half. They could at least, because in the anime, the cut was like down half his body, wasn't it? It looked so much where it looked like he cut him all the way down to his waist.
Mm-hmm.
It just the cut on the show was just a little I don't know. That's a little something I noticed. I was just like, I didn't think it was that. It didn't look as bad as it was like in the anime.
You can splatter a lot more blood and weirdness in an anime without it looking weird because it's anime. But in humans, it could have gotten really gory. But I thought it was a reasonably deep cut. And
no, I thought it was supposed to be. I just thought it was supposed to be longer.
Supposed to kill him. It wasn't supposed to kill him. It was just supposed to put him out.
Yeah, I just thought it was. I don't know, man. I guess
when Zeph was laying the skin on, he had a whole fish here. He had another whole fish there. So it should have gone just about to the end of the abdomen.
Yeah, and it was just maybe I don't know. It's something that like I just noticed. I just thought it was a lot. It looked a lot longer and more ridiculous, like in the anime. But then again, that is an anime.
I actually thought. It'll be interesting to see how they do that scarf going forward. But I thought that was one thing that they did really well was whoever was in charge of the makeup did all of the scars amazingly well.
Yeah,
all the scars they feel real, they feel aged, they feel old. Every single person who had a scar, the scar was really, really well done. That was very impressive.
Yeah. With Shanks is going over his the 3 lines over his eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Well, I mean, all of the scars. I mean,
yeah.
All of the scars. Like Luffy's scars, certain other scars that we know exist for certain reasons. Those are impressive. Though one of Luffy's most iconic scars, he's supposed to have right here from when Arlong bit him, and Luffy literally ripped his shark teeth out of his mouth in that fight. But in the fight they have in the show, Arlong never bites him, not even once. He keeps attempting to bite him, but he never actually bites him. So there's a whole bunch of scars that Luffy's not actually going to have anymore in the live action.
Was that how he broke his teeth out the first time when they grew back? Was when he bit him, or did he punch him out? I
think he may have punched him out, and new teeth grew in just like they showed. But there's also a scene where he literally basically rips the shark's teeth out of his mouth, the entire freaking thing.
Yeah.
And jaw. Arlong does grow back another one, but Luffy takes the other one and puts it in his own mouth with his rubber head.
Oh, that's right. He does the thing with his stupid. He has the stupid teeth in his mouth, looking like all goofy and everything like that.
But it's just interesting because I mean, a lot of times you can like look at a picture of Luffy and you can literally point different scars for different fights. You know exactly where they came from. You know exactly why they're there. You know all this stuff. Except now a lot of those scars aren't there because those fights didn't happen, or they didn't happen in the same way. And
that's what being a consistent like writer like that and keeping up with your character and stuff like that. Which, God, they're Kubo is the same way. The way that they do the thing and the way that they keep up. It's almost like they have like this. Almost like an autistic level of detail, keeping up with the character and everything. Like
they just keep very, very detailed notes and informations.
Yeah, like you said, where they've got like an information sheet where they ask him questions. What would this look like if it was alive? And he's like, okay, because he knows enough about the character that he could write something like that. See, kids, that's good writing. That's what you call good writing. It's been in short supply here, seemingly recently, but like this is what good writing is. Yeah, I did like it also with Sanji and
Sanji was really good, and I like that I don't think Sanji's a perv. I get really angry when people call Sanji a perv. He's not a perv. He's a bit of a simp, but he's not a perv. He loves women.
He loves women. He's like it seems like he falls in love with every beautiful woman he sees.
He does. He literally falls in love with every beautiful woman he sees. But if one of them ever actually gave him the time of day, he would be completely and utterly devoted to them.
Exactly.
Oda Sensei has admitted that. And everyone's like, well, what about the women's bath? I'm like, I'm sorry. I grew up with mostly male friends. Men are idiots, and all men want to look in the women's bath. It's just stupid. That does not make Sanji specifically pervy.
No, that's everything. How many anime have they had a women's bath scene? I was thinking about freaking the Outlaw Star one just now that you said that. That's like that's one of the funniest episodes. Was the one that they didn't air it on Cartoon Network.
I thought Taz Skylar was an amazing Sanji. I really felt Sanji-ness. And when he lit the cigarette, I just was like, they're actually letting him smoke. Oh my god!
What's hilarious though is there is no one that smokes as much as Sanji that could ever possibly do that much cardio that he does in that thing. It's impossible. I used to smoke. You wouldn't be doing that. You'd be doing that. You'd be kicking one dude. You'd be like, oh God, I'm dying. You're over there coughing and ready to throw up. That's funny. Like it's when you smoke in an anime, it never affects anybody's stamina because it's an anime. Like if you smoke like that in real life, you're not going to be doing all that.
Well, Sanji's on top of everything else. Sanji's very special, but you'll find that out later.
What, he's got extra lungs?
You'll find that out later.
Yeah, there we go. See, there's something going on there.
Yeah, actually, when you get farther along in the manga, the anime does it too. But for me, it was really like reading the manga and going, holy shit, you mean that joke from way back? And oh my god, like there is foreshadowing throughout East Blue, there's foreshadowing throughout Romance Downs, there's foreshadowing throughout everything to things that you don't find out for 1,000 fucking chapters, and you're going, oh my god, that was all set up there, and that was set up there, and that was set up there. Like as you go along with the story, it becomes even better, and going back to start from the beginning again becomes almost a completely different experience because you now understand all these foreshadows.
Yeah. That's something that's crazy. Somebody set that up and then let it go for so long. Yeah. Little things like that, like foreshadowing and stuff that happened so long ago, you forgot that it even happened, and then you go back and reference like, oh, okay. That's some patience right there. Like only some hardcore Japanese dude has the patience for that. This payoff in 1,000 chapters, man. It's crazy. But that's nuts how that happens, man.
And Oda Sensei doesn't reuse anything, which is it's almost kind of crazy in my personal opinion because we all worry about his health so much. But like if there's a scene where people are like looking at a flashback for when Roger died, he will redraw every single piece. He doesn't just take the scene where Roger dies, which was already drawn once. He'll just copy it because he could do that. A lot of manga could do that. Nope, he redraws every single panel, every single image. He's such a perfectionist. It's kind of crazy. Just as long as he doesn't put too much stress on himself because he has to finish this story.
I'm telling you, these manga guys kill them. They will work themselves to death. That's what Kubo did with Bleach. By the time the 1,000-Year Blood War came around, that's why it was rushed because his health was so bad. The dude.
Oda's been hospitalized. Oda's been hospitalized at least once, not twice.
So is Kubo, man.
And he admits he only sleeps like 3 hours a day. It's crazy.
That's crazy, man. They kill themselves on this stuff. That's hardcore.
And also, it's one of the reasons why Oda was so hands-on with this. He said in an interview, which really upset a lot of fans because it sounds like he's not doing so good. But he said, no, I'm fine. But he said, considering my health, this is my last chance to get One Piece out to a greater audience than those who appreciate manga and anime. So I mean, this is what he wanted. He wanted a show that would bring in or attract or open the door for all sorts of people who never would have come to this before. And it's doing that exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say that's exactly what's happening. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be able to check this out that normally wouldn't check it out, and they're going to start watching it because they're going to hear the positive. I've heard everybody's saying a lot of positive. You know, we got some people that are like, you got people that are going to have their criticisms and whatnot. But
everyone's
overall, you're going to have nothing but positive. When you were like, what is it, a 95% audience score? So
it's 80 something on critics last time I checked, and 95 or higher on viewers.
On the viewer score, which is cool. Yeah, that'll definitely work. What's up there, Vendetta Lux? Yes, hell, check this out. You're definitely gonna like it. I believe Jesse's been watching it. He started watching it yesterday, so probably talk about it Wednesday some too. But yeah, it's a good way to get the noobs in and the people and the normies and people that know nothing about One Piece in to check it out, because you hit a lot of all the major plot points there from the East Blue arc are there, and a whole lot of and there's a lot of good emotional payoff and stuff like that that really hits home. Like oh god, when I'm not gonna lie, when they finally unfurl their
Jolly Roger.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. That got me. I was just like, yeah, and I'm just glad it was.
That also slightly annoyed me a little bit. One thing about that annoyed me a little bit when he first does the really awful one, which is exactly the same as the awful one he did drew in the manga and the anime. That really horrible one. When he says, "It's our Jolly Roger, we're the Straw Hat Pirates." It's like, no. He drew the Jolly Roger, but he never called them. He never called everyone else. They never called themselves. Everyone else called them
the Straw Hat Pirates. That's right.
And eventually that becomes the name that they're willing to accept. But it wasn't like Luffy called them the Straw Hat Pirates. It wasn't like he was, you know what I mean? Like there's just a little bit of arrogance. There's a difference in between having other people give you the name and saying, no, you're all my. Like,
well, first they started calling him Straw Hat Luffy, and then they kept calling, and then when the people around him, they call him the Straw Hats because they were around Straw Hat Luffy. That was his crew that was around him.
Yep, and because the Jolly Roger had a straw hat on it, which makes sense. But at the same time, it's just really like. But we're gonna get to see. Hopefully, we get to see that horrible Jolly Roger being drawn again when they painted on Laboon.
They painted on what now?
Laboon, the whale at Reverse Mountain.
Yeah, that's right.
Laboon keeps hurting himself. He keeps slamming his head against the red line because he wants to get past to get back into the Grand Line to find his friends, who are now all dead except for
see, I cannot remember
except
names.
for Brooke.
Brooke, exactly.
But to make Laboon stop hurting himself, Luffy painted his crappy Jolly Roger on Laboon's head, and he said, "This is our promise that I'm going to come back and we're going to tussle again. But you got to keep it. You got to take care of it. So you can't keep hitting your head because that'll make it fall off. It'll make it come off." And Luffy got Laboon to stop hurting himself that way.
Right.
He had horrible, ugly Jolly Roger on his head.
But and also Usopp was the one who drew that, right? Who painted
Usopp was the one who drew. Usopp was the one who drew the good one.
The good one. Yeah.
The good one. Yeah.
I remember a thing or two about a thing or two.
And it was funny because someone was like, "Where's the damn log post?" And I'm like, there's no log post in the East Blue. You don't get a log post till Crocus. I mean, there's so much ready to come. I mean, I like the East Blue Saga. A lot of people don't. A lot of people feel it's boring or it takes too long or to get into it or whatever. I kind of enjoy the East Blue Saga, generally speaking. But there's so much to come.
There's that. Since you said something about Brooke, now I got it in my head. Have you ever seen the video? There's a dude on Oh, I'll tell you what. I'll put it in the private chat, and then you can present it and play it. And I believe you'll be able to share the audio on this if you haven't seen it. Let me pull this up real quick. This is something that a video I saw a while back. It's hilarious. All I had to type in was one word, and it pulled up where I had. Here we go. We'll get to here we go. Just put in the private chat, and hopefully, if you share that and play that, I believe you'll be able to share audio. Have you been able to do that before to look and see if it lets you do the share audio?
I've never tried to do anything like that.
Well, let's see if we can try it real quick. This is cool. And if you just like hit present, share screen, and then select the window or open up first. You open up the link and then go to present, share screen, and select the window screen, and it should be able to.
Okay, hold on. Pink sake. Okay. Present, share screen.
Let's see. Yeah, there we go.
Woohoo! I did it.
Good job.
Uh-oh. I'm buffering. I don't have good service. Yeah, I don't have good service.
But he this guy just rolls up on this piano sitting outside the store and just starts playing.
There are a couple different guys who do that. They'll go to, especially the girls at like conventions and stuff, and they'll just start playing different songs from anime to just see who in the audience is a weeb.
Yeah. I saw this before I ever started watching One Piece.
Oh, really?
Yes. But I knew it was from One Piece because it sounded powdery.
I love Bang Sake. It's just a fun song. Oh, people are singing in the background. Cool. That was fun.
That is cool. I saw that. I saw that before I ever watched One Piece, but I knew it was from One Piece because I was like, it sounded parody.
Bing Sake, We Go, and We Are the best songs out of all of One Piece, in my personal opinion.
That is a cool. Yeah, that's a great song. That is a fantastic. For the whole song, I was just like,
do you know? There's a VTuber, Nuxtaku. He has a song that's sailing the YouTube seas or something, but it's like slightly One Piece related, but it's this really funny like version of the Wellerman. It's
cool.
Let's try to find it. Hold on, it's really funny.
Tiny's hooked up with my internet because I make McDonald's. Yeah, hell, oh, you're definitely gonna want to. Oh, good grief, man! See, can't be letting the silence. Gotta keep talking. Yeah, I'm full of crap. I should just keep running my mouth.
This is when you talk to your chat. This is when you
exactly. It's just like, yeah, hell, you've got to definitely check this out, man. And it's streaming on Netflix, but I'm sure there's other ways to watch if one were so inclined. But yeah, it's definitely worth watching. You should. If you watch the first episode, it'll probably get you in there, man. And it's a good way to get. This is a good way to get the normies to get into this. And I'm glad you said that about Oda saying that like it's his last chance. Well, not that it's his last chance, but that this is his chance to get a bunch of people that wouldn't necessarily be into it to check stuff out, check it out. And I agree with him too. It's like I watched it, I'm just like, people are gonna dig this because this is way back. Can you imagine all that nonsense and garbage that comes out of the Disney has just thrown out? They basically have like a giant sewer pipe that they've unloaded, just opened up, and it just dumps all this stuff out, and it's just nothing but garbage. There's nothing that the Disney has put out, Star Wars, MCU, whatever that they put out that is anywhere close to this. It's just, and the production value of this is just going to make everything that they do look like trash.
I don't know how much of this I can actually like play because I don't know like copyright crap, but this was just really funny.
When we all started our voyage, our journeys were really joyous. Of course, there was a slight
buffering from McDonald's internet.
We had no income. Sailing the YouTube seas, caught in the clutches of Davy Jones' breeze. All I'm looking for is one piece of freedom, but there's none. I finally met my first mate, and the name of this mistress was Clickbait.
But it's all altered, so it should be good.
Booty did come.
Sailing the YouTube
seas, caught in the clutches of Davy Jones' breeze. All I'm looking for is one piece of freedom, but there's none. Da 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 da. The algorithm's combative. She drags you.
Not a big deal. I just thought it was funny.
That's pretty cool. No, I think we get with any kind of copyright stuff because he's got all the. It sounds like a song he did, and it's all the imagery is like altered so that it's not, And I think you're allowed to put like a couple of seconds of this and a couple of seconds of that up there.
There are other people who do too. Like if you go and search, there's people who have One Piece raps, One Piece songs, One Piece poetry. Like it encourages a lot of people to try to express how much they love the series and what it means to them.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt, yeah. I mean, good grief, there's a reason that it's the biggest selling thing ever. It blew Batman out of the water, and Batman's been going from 1939, somewhere around in there. So like, yeah, that's why I started watching. I was just like, good grief, there's over 1,000 episodes. Sure, there's something good here. If there's that many episodes, there's something good about this that people are enjoying. So I started watching it, and I'm still watching it. So, it's good. It's definitely good. And now that this has come out, I'm going to have to go back and start rewatching the East Blue thing to check out, to remember a whole bunch of stuff. Because, my memory is slightly, it's slightly, damaged probably, and it wasn't all that great to begin with. But yeah, definitely a good show. Definitely a good show to check out for the normies and whatnot. Can you One Piece fans please gatekeep this and don't let the weirdos take over? I think Oda, as Tiny calls him, Oda-sama will keep the weirdos out of there, and I think he's gonna lay the like I said, he has creative control, so he's got Zoro's katana ready to lay the smackdown on any horrible ideas that Netflix has probably. And I bet they sent him some bullshit
Probably
for this show, and he probably was just no, not even come get out of here with that stuff.
But I mean, also, they don't even have to necessarily do all that much gatekeeping because Oda's actually given options for all sorts of people to be shown and whatever. I mean, there's all the fights that happen over Yamato, which drive me crazy because it's very obvious Yamato is female. Yamato knows she's female, but her whatever. It's from what's going on right now in the fight that's going on in this.
Yeah. I think I've seen some of that stuff.
But there are other characters that actually are trans, like a young boy who was born a boy and didn't feel like he was a boy and grew himself up to be a girl and a very, very pretty girl at that. I mean, there's everything. Everything already exists in One Piece. You don't need that. None of the weirdos need to come in to try to change anything because it's already done.
It's already there. The dude. What about the dude in his lobby? Like the guy who, the dude with the big head. The hormone things. Yeah, yeah, that dude.
Ivankov, yes. Yeah, I know. You've got Ivankov, who has the ability to use hormones to change males to females and females to males. Only with a devil fruit. Yep. And that's from years ago, I'm assuming. That's from way long time back. He is the queen of the Kamabaka Kingdom.
And that's the dude, and that's from how many years back is that? Did he put that in there? It's a long time ago, I'm assuming, if I'm just now watching it here in the last month or two. That's been years back, I assume, when he wrote that in the manga.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There is nothing that doesn't already exist in one way or another. And it's just great. No, Hale, it's not horrible. It's done in a way that makes it funny. It's done in a way that makes it funny. It's done in a way that makes it interesting. Dude, if Ivankov was real, he or she or however she wanted to be at that moment, because that's the thing, she goes back and forth whenever she wants to, would absolutely positively have destroyed all the crazy trans stuff that we deal with today that is ruining things. Ivankov would just do his wink and they go flying off into the ether and not bother anyone ever again.
This is very true.
And the idea that Ivankov is such an important member of the Revolutionary Army that nobody really realized that. I mean, all the hidden this and the hidden that, and then so much stuff, so much great stuff.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that thing creeped me out too with giant head, man. Not gonna lie.
It'll be interesting to see how they do Little Garden too. That's going to take a lot of CGI or animatronics or something. But there's just so much. There's just so many great options, and there's so many great devil fruits to see how they can make the different ones work.
Yeah, well, no two are alike, if I'm not mistaken.
No two are the same, but there are a couple that are alike. There's
similar,
similar.
Ace and the other dude.
Yeah, Ace has the flame fruit, and it's a Logia, so he can turn his entire body to flames. He can use flames. He can create flames out of nothing and do all this other stuff. Well, there's another Logia, there's a Paramecia that allows you to affect heat and flames and stuff, but you don't actually produce them out of your own body or something like that. There's a couple times where there's fruit that are sort of similar, or one is a bigger, better version than another. And if the whole idea is that fruits come from people's desires and people's dreams, some dude had a cool idea, and then some other dude saw that and was like, that'd be cool, but it'd be even cooler if it was like this. So it's you've got slightly more intense or better, stronger versions of some of the fruits in some ways.
Kind of like Zanpakuto.
A little bit. But
some might have similar.
Mm-hmm.
You have fire Zanpakuto and ice Zanpakuto.
But deal with them differently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm just so excited because I don't see how they can possibly not renew it for at least a second season, and probably a lot more than that. So
I knew you were gonna dig this when that came out. I was like, ooh. And then when you were watching, I was like, I'm gonna have to check this out. And then I was just like, I want to hear what she has to say about this because I'm digging this. This is good.
Yeah,
I pretty much stayed up. I've pretty much stayed up all all Friday night, Saturday morning watching it too. So.
Oh, I watched it. I watched it the minute it dropped. I watched all 8 episodes the minute it dropped at midnight. Which is why I want to go back and watch it again when I'm not when it's not the middle of the night and I'm on enough painkillers to make me fuzzy.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. That's probably what I'm going to be rewatching since I'm already on. I think I'm up to episode 3 again. I'll rewatch the first 2 before we did this, so I could try to remember some stuff. I didn't want to forget everything that I knew, so I wouldn't be completely and totally retarded coming in. But yeah, it's definitely a good watch. And like I said, I had enough of the key points from the anime that you're gonna get the whole story and the gist of what's going on, even if they changed and condensed a few things, which was what I was saying. I was telling somebody the other day, and I was telling Jesse that I was like, they changed and condensed a few things just because it's 8 episodes compared to like they have to spread it out to maybe 20 or so. To spread it out, if you wanted to do the entire thing, put every single plot point in that was in the manga or the anime, and if it was exactly the same as a lot of people say, if it was exactly the same, I'm sure you'd still like it and everything, but just little changes like that are okay, because if it was just a carbon copy and everything like that, you'd know exactly what was going on. But some changes are okay, sometimes.
Here,
for little things like that when you're trying to adapt it to different media.
This is just for Hale.
教えてくれるかしら？彼の居場所。断る。あら困ったわね。もっと自分に正直におなりなさい。何をする気だ。エンポリオアイスハルバー。
あれ？お、女になった。
どう？本当の自分に目覚めた感想は？
これが私？
あなたは生まれ変わったの。もう看守じゃない。ニューカマーよ。
素敵。ありがとうございます、岩様。私、本当の自分に気づけました。
I'm sorry. That was just for Hale.
Yeah.
The devil is a liar.
Yeah, it creeps me out too, dude. Not even gonna lie. A big-headed thing creeps me out. It's like, oh my god, it's like some kind of strange. What the?
Come on! It's a world that has fishmen and giants. And
that thing creeps me out more than the other things too. All right, it does. Even though I brought it up just when we were talking about this stuff, it creeps me out more than all this. It's a giant head. I don't know. I'm just like, big sea monsters don't freak me out as much as that.
Oh, the Sea Kings?
Yeah. But yeah, you'll start watching it. You watch it, hell, you'll get into it. You'll see this part right here that I have is a picture here. This is good. The thumbnail I got that sums this up. They did that. That's such a fantastic shot in the way that they did that. I love that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, might start. I don't know. You got anything else major you want to spin off about this?
Except for very, very, very few instances, I thought all of the casting was amazing. All of the costuming was amazing. Most of the visual effects and makeup and all that was amazing. It's just, I hope it just continues to be a great show. I hope it's a hit, and I hope it continues to be a hit, and it goes on for, like I said, 10 years, 20 years. Keep those contracts locked and safe. Don't let the actors go anywhere.
Well, if they keep doing it the way that they did this season,
Mhm.
I believe it'll go on for a while, quite a while. Just if you've got if Oda is the final say in everything, then they
Mhm.
should be able to keep this thing on the right track.
Yeah.
They
And they have all of this, most of those sets built. Like the Going Merry's already built. A lot of other stuff that parts of what they did with Shellstown and Orangetown can be revamped and used to be like parts of Whiskey Peak, and like it shouldn't. It took 6 years to get here. It shouldn't take more than a year or two to get to season 2.
right. Yeah. I agree with you on that. I think you're right about that. And they've got once the 6 years, once they figured out that's how they worked out how to get here, like you were saying.
Mhm.
So like doing a few tweaks to go to the next, the next season, it shouldn't be that difficult. The hardest part was getting to where we are now, and obviously they've done a very good job about it. The sets and everything, it's just all of it looks so good. Like you see these shows that are supposedly cost all this money
Oh
and
yeah,
everything,
and they look
they look
awful.
and the fact that they've got all that, so much of that Disney stuff is just green screen trash and gobbledygook. That just, you can actually tell that like some of the like when
But
they
also
have some of
but also the fact that Luffy's Gum powers work with the CGI, and it feels a little weird, but it's supposed to be weird because it's very unnatural.
yeah.
But the fact that all the CGI it actually really worked proves that they could have done they could have done a Ms. Marvel that actually had Ms. Marvel's powers. They could have done stretchy and blowy up powers because we just saw you can do it right.
Oh yeah. But it's like they turned this. They went away from like sets and things to like there's no telling how much they CGI. I saw a picture where they had like Sam Jackson sitting there with like a gun. They went to CGI his gun where they could have just had somebody build a prop. It was like why wouldn't you just I don't know. Not a great plan.
Physical effects also make things much better.
Oh yeah.
I mean, CGI has a place, absolutely, and good CGI is important, but it shouldn't be all CGI. It should be CGI to augment physical effects.
Exactly. CGI just augment it. Just what you have there, it just accentuates a little bit. Look at Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park had, mostly practical effects, but they, spliced in some CG when they needed to in places. Mm-hmm. And it made it look it just added to what was there and made it look that much better. And then my favorite movie of all time is Aliens. And that entire movie is practical effects. Every bit of it. There's not a single stitch of CG in there. And there's maybe one or two places where you might could tell that, but like the rest, it's like, good grief! It looks like they're actually in these different things. So, this was a nice balance, and especially the parts when they're on the ocean and they're looking like I was just checking out that when they're it's night, they're on Nami's little stolen boat, and you look out there and it looks like they're on the ocean. So the waves and everything, the water, all of that looks natural. I mean, like you'd be out on the ocean or whatnot.
Because it was.
Yeah.
Now, I believe they have to move everything out of South Africa. Like all of the sets and stuff are being moved somewhere else. But they're all still made. There shouldn't be any problems. And I'm trying to think about how you would do what changes they could make to things like Whiskey Peak or Reverse Mountain, or because the next season is going to have a lot of, one of the ways that they saved on money to some degree was having the Kobe Garp side story almost all the time inside of a ship. Like they're always in a room. It's always like really simple, easy stuff. And then when they went to Syrup Village, they did all this stuff inside Kaya's mansion. Mm-hmm. You're not really going to be able to do anything like that with Little Garden. You're not going to be able to do anything like that with all of Laboon's story and Reverse Mountain. You're going to be able to do that a little bit with Drum Island, but a lot of the what would be in season 2, they're gonna have to have the money and the time to really do stuff that's big outdoor shots. I mean, especially Little Garden.
What is Little Garden again? Let's see.
Little Garden is where Drogi and Brogy are. Drogi and Brogy, the giant fight,
the giant guys
for 100 years.
Yeah, they were fighting each other. That's right.
But that's also where Mr. 3 comes and does the whole giant wax thing. Where they deal with Mr. 5, I think. The guy who can make his snot blow up or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And that witch, his partner, who can make herself light or heavy or have, like, she was so annoying.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, I watched it once. It's been a while, and it's hard to remember everything. But. And what was Whiskey Peak? Which one was that?
Whiskey Peak is right after they leave Laboon. It's like the first island they come to, and everyone says, "Oh, we love new pirates coming to the Grand Line. Come on, we're gonna have a party and drinking competitions and everything." And then you realize that actually they're all actually like Baroque works, and
yeah, that's right.
They kill pirates and steal their shit.
That's right.
The Cactus Island, what looks like the cactus signs, are actually all graves of all the pirates they killed and taken. And Zoro's like, Zoro starts beating them up because they want to beat us up. And then Luffy wakes up and his attitude is, "These people fed us and they were nice. Why are you beating up on them?" And so Zoro and Luffy go at each other.
That's right. Where was it that they went where Zoro had to get the other swords and they bump into Smoker?
That's Logtown. That should be the very beginning of season 2, is Logtown. And I figure that'd be at least 2 episodes. Because so much happens in Logtown. And then with Buggy and Elvita, Dragon being there, all of those things happen in Logtown. So you really have to get those. And then right after Logtown is Reverse Mountain and Laboon, followed by Whiskey Peak, followed by Little Garden, followed by Drum Island, and then finally they get to Alabasta. Is it Whiskey Peak is where they decide where they agree to protect Vivi and get her back to Alabasta?
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. And now I forgot about this. Buggy had no interaction with Arlong in the anime or the manga, did he?
Oh, none.
That's what I thought. He had none. That's another thing that they kind of condensed together to put together. And did they steal a map in the anime?
Yep.
They did steal the map. That's right. But it wasn't like other people weren't actually.
They weren't necessarily stealing it for Arlong. Like Nami was stealing the map just because the map would be worth stuff and because she wanted another better map.
Right.
Luffy and Zoro want the map for the Grand Line. But no. Arlong does not get involved with Buggy. Buggy does not get involved with Arlong. Nami is the only thing that connects the two.
That's what I thought. I had to remember. Can you hold this down awkwardly for just,
Sure.
just a second? Hold on just a second.
Great. Yeah, okay. Hale, that is really, really mean. I will not have to wait another 6 years for season 2, or I better not have to. That would be really awful. Technically, I guess you could call Ivankov a gender changing clown. Yeah, that's technically accurate. But one with a good heart, and who is all about freedom for everybody. He's a total libertarian. What else? So Sanji and Zoro are gorgeous. I've said it there. I'm a cougar. Nami seems pretty badass. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how she goes forward as the character changed in the anime and the manga. It'd be interesting to see if she changes similarly in the show, in the live action. Anybody else? Anybody in the chat watch it? Does anybody think that the woman that had this slight little close up in the crowd at Roger's execution was Croco Mom? Well, a sex changing clown does sound like you're on crack, Hale.
I gotta give you I like to go in there and give you editor stuff so you can click and highlight this kind of stuff. And I forgot to do that.
I have no idea how to do any of that, but cool.
Yeah, it's look, if I can do this stuff, like anybody can. Like I figured out how to put backgrounds on there. Well, actually Jesse told me how to do something.
I was gonna say
I was messing around with it.
Jesse helped you figure out.
He helped me figure out some of the stuff. I did figure out some of the one or two things in there. So I'm not completely helpless.
Since you're new to the One Piece world and you're just watching the anime and stuff, and I assume you're not into a lot of the groups or in the chat conversations about One Piece, do you know about the Croco Mom theory?
Me?
Yes, you.
No, I do not.
Okay. Remember when they were in his lobby and Crocodile said, "Let me come with you, I can help you, I can fight"? And Ivankov says, "Oh, Croco boy, if you get out of hand, I know things about you you don't want told." And Crocodile immediately shuts up and starts acting like semi-docile.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that now that you said it.
Well, there's also a point during the battle at Marineford, right after Sengoku announces that Luffy is Monkey D. Dragon's son, where Crocodile suddenly stops somebody from hitting Luffy. Like Crocodile protects Luffy. Now, technically, they're fighting on the same side, but the fact that Crocodile protected Luffy made a lot of people kind of raise their eyebrows.
Right.
So this insane theory is that years and years ago, Crocodile was born female, and Crocodile was part of the Revolutionary Army, and Crocodile had a relationship with Dragon, and Crocodile had a baby, but decided none of this was getting her what she wanted, so she went to Ivankov and had Ivankov turn her into a man so that she could become Sir Crocodile, become a warlord, and conquer Alabasta. So technically, Crocodile is Luffy's mom.
And this is a theory that people have going on?
This is a theory. This is a theory that has been going on for years. This is a theory that gets more and more people jump onto it every few months because something else changes. And it may be true, but I really don't want it to be true. But it's like one of the biggest arguments is the whole Croco Mom.
What's up, Hojo? What's going on, brother? What you know good, dude?
And in the live action, when they have Gold Roger's execution, they show a young Mihawk. They show Dragon from behind wearing his signature green overcoat. They show Smoker in the edge. And then they show a woman who could sort of possibly be a young female version of Crocodile. And no one knows if she's in there as a troll or if she's in there as proof that Crocodile used to be female. It's just... If you look up the Croco Mom theory, you will see the crazy... Sorry, Hojo.
This is see, I'm following this stuff, man, because I have been going into One Piece for a while now.
It's the fans looking for because there are all these details that Oda Sensei hides, and there's all these foreshadowing. So fans are always on the lookout. Maybe this is foreshadowing something. Maybe that is foreshadowing something. And then certain theories get backing of certain groups, and then you get these theory wars on YouTube and on Facebook and on Reddit.
See, this is what is cool about this. Is what fans used to do with a whole lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. With different franchises and stuff, back in the day, they did that. Instead of talking about how they've been running to the ground, a lot of people did fan stuff. So you have stuff like One Piece now, which is one of those things where the fans are still, because you still get the same dude writing this and doing this that is that has been from the get-go. That's why you got fans that go on these rabid fans having a whole bunch of theories about different things because they're so into it, which is pretty cool.
And it's one of the big differences, I think, between manga and Western comics, and one of the things that allows manga to be superior right now is that generally speaking, a mangaka has 1 or 2 stories that are their stories, and they stick with those stories until the story's done. In the US, we have all sorts of different writers that or in the West in general, Western comics. You get someone who wrote for this title for a few months, maybe they wrote for a few years, but it always ends up changing up, and someone new comes in, which used to be great because in some ways because it gave you new ideas and more interesting stuff, but nowadays it's just more excuse to trash the original lore and the character development of the last 40 freaking years. That never is going to happen with One Piece. No one is going to be writing One Piece except Oda Sensei. So I think, and no one was going to write Bleach except Kubo. No one's going to write My Hero Academia. No one's going to write Demon Slayer, except for the mangakas who came up with those stories and have been writing them the whole time.
Which I think is a superior thing to do. That's why I like a lot of the stuff with the Western comics and stuff where you have certain writers, they'll write this great art, but then they leave and then somebody will come in and write garbage. And I'm just like, why can't you get one guy to stick with this thing for a long time? That's why I think the manga has it down. I like their model way better, where you got the one guy, he's keeping this stuff up. He's got probably stacks and stacks of stuff that's got like everything that he, all of his lore and everything that he's put together for these characters, and he's very protective of it because he's the one that created it. That's why I think it's awesome. I think it's a far superior model myself. Rather than have different people come in here and they're just like, oh, let's have Clark Kent's son do this now, and let's have him protest climate change. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we're about right at
2 hours point.
2 hour mark, and it's probably a good place to cut it off. And once again, I would like to thank my awesome co-host and Guru for coming on here and going deep into this explain it with me. And this has been fun. And I enjoy this. And I don't know if you wanted to sometime if you felt like going into an episode by episode thing, something like that, whatever. If you felt like going over something with the anime or the manga or whatever, I'm planning on starting to rewatch some stuff. If you ever wanted to do like a deep dive on the East Blue or something like that, I'm definitely down for something like that. This is cool. Mm-hmm. And thank you, Hell. This was awesome. I enjoyed it myself, brother. But
have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, if you want to follow Tiny, let me put your I will put your
Twitter.
Yes, the Twitter.
X,
Thank you.
Whatever.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll put the link to your Twitter here in the chat. I'm working on it. I'm sorry. I'm a boomer. I am a boomer. Indeed, yes, it's boomer. Thank you, everybody, and have a great enjoy your holiday. Try not to go out and do anything too ridiculous or stupid. Don't do anything that I did. There you go. That's a good advice. Don't do anything I did back in the day. So thank you all. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the flip side the next time we do this. Later.